These things happened to me almost 10 years ago, but I remember them as clearly as if they happened yesterday. At that time, I was living in a big city. The city was always noisy, always crowded, and in summer it became unbearably hot. The air felt heavy, the streets were full of cars, and every day felt exactly the same. I began to feel tired of it all. I wanted to escape, even if only for a short time. I wanted to see the countryside, to walk under green trees, to hear birds instead of horns, and to breathe clean, fresh air. One evening, without telling anyone, I decided to leave. I had a small red car that I loved, and an old paper map that I kept in the glove box. I packed a few clothes, some food, and a bottle of water. As night fell, I started the engine and drove out of the city. The road stretched ahead of me, dark and quiet, and for the first time in a long while, I felt free. I drove all night, watching the city lights slowly disappear behind me. The air grew cooler, and the road became narrower as I moved deeper into the countryside. By early morning, the sun began to rise. Golden light filled the sky, and the fields around me turned bright green. The country was beautiful in the early hours. The sky was clear and blue, and the sun was already warm. I could hear birds singing in the trees beside the road. I felt happy, calm, and full of hope. I thought to myself that this would be a perfect summer. Suddenly, without warning, my car stopped. The engine made a strange sound and then went silent. I tried again, but nothing happened. I sat there in silence, confused, then worried. I got out of the car and looked around. There was no one in sight, only fields, trees, and a long empty road. Then I realized the problem. I had no petrol left. Oh dear, I said to myself, what am I going to do now? I knew I would have to walk and find a town where I could buy petrol. I took out my map and looked at it carefully. According to the map, there was a town not too far away, but the road I was on didn't feel familiar. I wasn't sure exactly where I was. I felt lost in the middle of the countryside. As I was standing there, trying to decide which direction to go, I saw someone walking toward me. It was a girl. She was walking slowly down the road, carrying flowers in her hands. She wore a long dress, simple and old-fashioned, and her hair was long, black, and shining in the sunlight. She looked as if she belonged to this place, as if the countryside itself had created her. She was very beautiful. I felt nervous, but I wanted to speak to her. I stepped away from the car and walked toward her. "Hello," I said gently. "I'm lost. Can you tell me where I am?" She stopped and looked at me. At first, she seemed afraid, so I spoke quietly and slowly. "My car has no petrol," I said. "Do you know where I can find some?" She looked at me with her blue eyes, and after a moment, she smiled. Her smile was warm and kind, and it made me feel instantly better. "I do not know," she said softly, "but come with me to the village. Perhaps we can help you." I didn't hesitate. I was happy to walk with her. We talked as we walked, and the road seemed longer than I expected. I looked at my map again and again, but I couldn't find any village marked where we were going. "There isn't a village here on my map," I said. "Perhaps it is very small," she replied with a quiet smile. After some time, we reached the village. It was old and very pretty. The houses were small, black and white, and looked as if they belonged to another time. There were animals everywhere, chickens, goats, and even horses. Everything felt peaceful and strange at the same time. The girl stopped in front of a house and smiled at me. "Come in, please," she said. Inside, the house was very clean, but it felt unusual. There was a fire burning and food cooking above it. The smell made me realize how hungry I was. I found it strange that they cooked over a wood fire, but I said nothing. I met her father and mother. They were kind and welcoming, but their clothes were old-fashioned, just like the village. The old man asked me to sit down and gave me a drink. I thanked him, but the drink was dark brown and very strong. I didn't understand what it was, but I drank it anyway. I asked about petrol, but the old man didn't understand the word. "Petrol?" he repeated. "What is that?" I felt confused. Then I asked how they traveled from place to place. We use horses, he said with a smile. Horses. I thought about cars, roads, and engines, but again, I said nothing. I felt strangely comfortable there. I stayed all day and ate dinner with them in the evening. Later, the girl and I went into the garden. Her name was Mary. She told me they didn't get many visitors, and that they liked having people come to the village. We talked for a long time, and the more I spoke to her, the more I felt drawn to her. She was kind, gentle, and beautiful. After a while, her voice grew quiet, and her face became sad. "Why are you sad?" I asked. "I cannot tell you," she said. "You are only a visitor. You must leave tonight. It is dangerous here." I didn't understand. I told her I loved her and that I wanted to help her. She only shook her head. "You must go," she said again. I promised her I would find petrol and come back. I told her nothing could stop me. She said goodbye to me at the door, her eyes full of sadness. I didn't want to leave, but I did. It was midnight when I reached the next town. I found petrol and then asked about the village. The man at the garage looked at me strangely. "There was a village there," he said slowly, "but it doesn't exist now." He told me about a fire that happened hundreds of years ago during a war. Everyone in the village died. As he spoke, I remembered everything: the clothes, the fire, the horses, Mary. He told me the village appears for one day every 10 years, and anyone who stays past morning can never leave. I went back, but the village was gone. Only flowers, trees, and birds remained. I sat on the ground and cried. Even now I wait. The village will return again, and this time I will not leave.